but he was like a streamer 16 hours a day, and he managed to qualify for Worlds when he quit streaming. Just because he also realized if you wanna be competitive in Hearthstone, you just can't be a content creator. But if you're not a content creator, it's not self-sustainable. Hence, you either win Worlds or you're done. It's pretty rough. It's a rough world out here. I mean, most people drop. I mean, you can see what organizations are doing. You like competitive Hearthstone was pretty much doomed when Navi dropped their Hearthstone team when they had a world champion and two of the like Navi when Navi dropped their Hearthstone team, they had Xixo, who was the #1 ranked player in the world at that time, Osaka, who was the current world champion, and Hoi, who qualified for like 3 regionals in a row, and Surrender, the best Asian player or APEC player. They had that team when Navi disbanded their Hearthstone roster, and then you can imagine how good it is to have. I mean, we had Sane and Mazi in Tempo Storm. I just don't wanna like. If you're like an aspiring Hearthstone pro player, the #1 tip I can give you is run. Run while you can. Like 4 years ago, I would be like, fuck yeah, dude, go for it. If you want to be a competitive card game player, you should play Magic. 100% right now at this very moment. Like, if you want my advice, and if you want me to be real with you, looking at all the competitive card game structures, if you want to be a card game competitor, you should be playing Magic with all the information that is available. You never know if they just freaking change everything. If things change, then things change. Like, Artifact was the 100% the way to go before it failed. And as soon as it failed, like, you had to recognize it very quickly. And as soon as it failed, you had to just fucking abandon it, because the company Valve abandoned the player base, which was very, I mean, it was very visible. It was very visible, even before that, because it didn't get viewership on Twitch. If a game doesn't get viewership on Twitch, the game is doomed to fail in 2019. You can't have a successful game, esports game, if you don't get viewers on Twitch, because you don't get the sponsors. Guys, this is real talk. I don't want some people to be like misleaded by wrong information or whatever. I'm always like very transparent. Like, if you wanna be competitive in any game, the first thing you should look at is their Twitch numbers. Because if you have good Twitch numbers for a tournament, it means you will get sponsors and investors. And that's the #1 most important things for any esports title. If you don't get sponsors, there will not be tournaments. You need sponsors for tournaments. That's how games die. Like, why does Artifact only have like $100 weekly cups? Well, because there's not a single sponsor / investor who's interested in Artifact. I mean, you can just not listen to me and just, you know, think you're smarter. You have more experience in the area. I mean, I'm just in esports for like more than a decade. More than 10 years ago, I already went to esports tournaments, and 10 years ago, it was way more difficult than now to compete in any game because there was almost no game to compete in. Now you have like a million different options. Did you try Magic? You like it? I like Magic. The only thing that I don't like about Magic is it feels like a very outdated game for 2019. But it's still probably the best competitive card game we have right now at this current moment. Magic Finals or the Magic Invitational got a shit ton of viewers. I don't know how many, but it was way more than Hearthstone Grand Finals. I don't know, do you guys remember? It was like some crazy number. Was it 300k or something? It was insane how many people watched the PAX East Invitational, $1 million tournament. 90k? I thought I could swear it was way more than that. If it was only like 90k, it's not that much. By Magic is outdated. I mean the land system. You know that Richard Garfield, he created Magic freaking 30 years ago or whenever. And if you played Artifact, you knew that Garfield understands the problems of Magic, and it felt like he solved a lot of the problems from Magic in Artifact, and that's why Artifact was a much better competitive game. I mean, Sivka agrees with all that, and Sivka is like one of the most known Magic players. Like every Magic player that played Artifact just knew it was just a better competitive card game, just superior, more modern. Like it failed for other reasons, not because it was not a good competitive game. And then I don't know. Actually, Sivka was, as you can see, he was like very depressed for a while now. Because he really wanted Artifact to succeed and he didn't. And props to him that he just didn't go back to Hearthstone. Because he was like #1 like believer in Artifact. And like he said multiple times there's absolutely no way it will not blow up. And then it didn't blow up, and then it kind of sucked. Because he also dropped his Hearthstone team and everything. He went all in on this Artifact. And then it completely failed. And then you're like, oh, great. For hands. Magic was 180k. Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people watch these super high stake tournaments in Magic. But Magic is more also like very similar, like similar player viewer base than Artifact, but it's just a way older game. Magic is like 69 years old as a card game, and Artifact just came out last year. But the player base, it attracts the similar group of players, Magic and Artifact. But Artifact just has a much bigger advantage because much better online game. Like Magic Arena is much better than Artifact. Like the business model and payment structure. First of all, it's free to play, which is obviously like a staple in 2019. Here's my cartoon, right? Yeah, it's free to play and you get free 420 cards when you start playing the game. Just superior game, right? I mean, Magic is good. But yeah. I think to really self-sustain, you have to be a streamer or content creator. You never know what the company behind your game is gonna do. Like, Magic is a safe bet. If you were into Magic like from many years ago, you should. Why should you leave Magic, right? Magic is growing 20 years after release. Why should you not stick with Magic? Or like if you used to play Magic for many years, why should you not go back to Magic when you now have a much cheaper way of playing or competing with Magic? Much better ways to create content. Makes no sense to leave Magic now. Also, because Magic is around for so many years, there's a very big chance the company will still support Magic for many years to come. Right? If the game is doomed to fail, it would have already failed. If that makes sense. Do I want to be a Grandmaster in Hearthstone? Hells yeah. Unpredicted? I think the people that predicted Artifact to fail, they were kind of gambling. I mean, you're either right or you're wrong. So if Artifact would have not failed, and then the people who predicted Artifact to next best thing would be right. I think unpredictable... I mean, you could predict it close before the release, kind of. Like, the more information you got, the more... Like, I knew it would fail, kind of like... You know, there was like this open beta, on day one of open beta. But I was in closed beta. You couldn't... Because in closed beta it was very different. The game was very different. And in open beta, as soon as I saw how much people had to pay to get into the game, I knew it would fail. And as soon as I knew, they removed, there was a ranking system, a ladder system in the game. And as soon as I knew there was no ladder system, I knew there was no incentive for people to play the game. I knew at that point the game would fail. But that was like when it was already almost released. Because those things were... Ooh. Thanks. That's pretty sweet. Gaara just play Hacklebot lol for it. Gaara just play Hacklebot. Dude, why am I not the world champion? Look at that. Just beat his entire deck. Gaara play Shaman. Bow to my presence. Bask in my presence. I think Hearthstone World Championship is very important for Hearthstone's marketing, right? Because you do get a lot of people play your game believing, oh, you can get into worlds and win big tournaments and stuff, right? It's all like a very big business module. I mean, that's the same reason why Artifact has no $1 million tournament, like initially announced. Because they don't believe that people will play Artifact even if you give them free monies. I wanna pull out the Brawl, but do I? Like my hand kinda blows, you know. Let's see what happens. What a good discard. I like this. I like Mill Shaman. I think the Saboteur and the Hackerbots are the best bet to beat Warrior. The Artifact fair because they put the price for it too high and they removed ladder. That's like big things. Like, it's like, that's like defaults, right? You can't have a non-free-to-play game in 2018, 2019, even in 2018. It's just like a staple. Like you have, like how can your game not be free-to-play? It's like, come on, bro, what are you doing? If that makes sense. Obviously, much more like, man, it's just like a well-performed business model. It works. Why would you not do something that works? It's proven to work. Do we save this? You know, you make all the money through in-game merchandise, merch, and I always forget the freaking name. Microtransactions. It works in League of Legends perfectly. It works perfectly in Dota. It worked perfectly in Counter-Strike until the CS:GO Lotto scam. It worked perfectly in PUBG. I mean, I've like from what the interviews that I heard, they didn't go for like a lot of microtransactions in Hearthstones because they felt like nobody's gonna spend money in Hearthstone for like cardboards and like heroes. It doesn't fit. That business model doesn't fit for Hearthstone. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I know at least two guys in the chat who would buy an alternative hero. There you go, there's one. I would buy fancy heroes. Like in Fortnite, I would buy a new hero every week. It looks good for YouTube content. Imagine every time I make a YouTube video, it has a different hero I'm using. Easy brawl pull. Execute? God damn it. Oh, I don't have Elysiana either. I didn't hit the brawl, dude. Yeah, you know me twice, and you try to pull the brawls with this guy. This is like very optimistic, but hey, it's super fun. You can call this Gaara's most optimistic Shaman deck. Well, you better have Mechatone in your hand, homie. Nomi Shaman to the top. Imagine I finished top 200 legend with Nomi Shaman. I didn't count lethal. I admitted before I do anything here. I didn't miss lethal.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Seven, 10. Imagine you had bloodlust right now. Shush! Yo, we can go Zenes. Just pull the Zenes lol for hit. The Saboteur is just so universal. Hold up, can I pull the Mage Twin Spell on my minion and get 2 minions? Like, that's pretty cool. Do you think Control Priest is viable? It's just another Shaman deck. It's not very good. But it's also not trash. It's okay. What is viable? What's the definition of viable? Tier 1? Playable for climbing? It is definitely playable for climbing. It's kind of like a token druid. This is super important to have these two. I should just pull the Nomi easy cappuccino.
Let the pain speak to me.
Not giving him draw just yet. Oh, we need this for the big boy, I think. Oh, if I pull Auctioneer, I'm gonna be so sad. Oh, I'm so sad. What we can do something here. Like if his hand is full, he will not draw that many cards. Interesting, this... okay. Dude, he's so fucking lucky, dude. Just doesn't give a damn about discarding cards. That's just such a monk ass. Are you serious? And won? Except he plays double giant.
Is someone injured?
Well, he can definitely play double giant. Oh, I think he's gonna play double giant, right? I can't kill double giant now. I have 5. It ain't gonna cut it. Fuck. Alright. Fuck. I mean, I have one hex.
Instead of cards.
Stop! Playtime! Stop! Playtime!
Is someone injured?
I'm out of cards.
I got the best deals anywhere.
I wish I had that earlier, fuck. He didn't kill my totem. He has 2 waves. I don't wanna waste anything for this garbage here. I have to.
For my glory.
Can I do something with this? And these? I have to try
Deloa, speak to me.
to not die. Fuck it, that doesn't cut it. I have to go for a double. Then I have to go Hakata plus this and kill as much as possible. Why is he not playing the Nomi? I have to go Hagata and hope that... What can Shadowwalk even do? I mean, I need to get more spells, I think, like storms and stuff.
Foul the lake and curse this land. From nothing, power.
Maybe this... Like if I hit...
A path dimly
MC tags. Why now? Why did he wait?
a path.
Wait, Shadowwalk would actually cast one Senders from hand. Oh, but yeah, he used the now both Senders are gone, never mind. Or do we heal? I can play this and bolt and kill one. Then he has 6, 18, 36 damage. Oh my god, I'm not good.
A path dimly lit.
Face me, you fat vermin!
Do you know what is burden?
Six, 8, 11, 16 damage to the face.
A path dimly
He has Maasai Steer in hand! He has Acolyte in hand? So that's 1 minion. Some list play 1? Fuck.
I must decide.
I think I have to do it. Shadowwalk doesn't cut it.
You ungrateful underling!
Next turn I would have lethal. Yes! Best card. Twitch chat knows what to take. Dude, I'm absolutely the next freaking grandmaster. Do you see that?
You have been.
Ice wizard. You can't beat the dark magician.